Hello, everybody. Today we're going to be taking a look at a scenario where civilization starts over. In the last episode, we first saw a major exploration of Asia. We had these countries forming like the hot pink country, Korea as blue team, China, and then the southern Chinese country. We had these countries expanding, some exploration of Western Africa, and the main thing that we had happening is the Russians invading the Ottomans, and the Ottomans, of course, declaring war on the Russian Empire. So let's go ahead and start that war right now, as we're going to turn on the cities, and here we go. So all these alliances are called into the war. Obviously the Triangle team is not involved in the war, but who knows if they will. I will say that they're not going to be involved in this war. So if you were wanting them to be, I guess that's not going to happen. Anyways, the Russians have a much better offensive on this area than the Ottomans do have a defensive. So the Russians will just storm into this whole area, taking some major cities. The Ottomans will put up a fight, but it's not too good. And they do get pushed back to Crimea, and that is when they start actually fighting. The Lime team is going to go ahead and occupy some of these Ukrainian areas until the rest of it is just going to go ahead and be taken by the Russian Empire. And the Lime team is also going to go ahead and start their invasion of Bulgaria as they move into these western areas and start to approach the capital of Bulgaria. They also push over here in the northwest, as this is all, or the northeast, as this is a major position to be in, as they capture another major city. And it looks like Bulgaria is not doing the best in this war. And naval war is going to happen over here in the Mediterranean between the Egyptians and the Ottomans, as there's a country separating those two, and that's Cyprus. But I don't know if they're going to get involved in this war. We'll just have to see. Anyways, back over here in Crimea, the Ottomans will make a small push into the southwestern area of Ukraine, and they even get all the way to the river. However, it is a very hard front to fight, as their offensive is not as good as the Russian defensive is now. So, yeah. Anyways, like the Russians, or like the square team, not the square team, like the diamond team thought, we see that the square team gets the purple team, which is kind of surprising because, they have not had good relations in the past. But they also get this pink country, and it's more of a force of the purple country than it is a pink country. Pink country up here actually wanted to join the Square Alliance. Purple country didn't, but they were just forced to. So a new front will open in this Balkan region, as we see that the purple or the civilians were not expecting this, and they get pushed into by two different countries. And this is a pretty bad front that it's just open for them. Two countries manpower going into one. The one is stronger than the two drastically, but who knows what will happen on this front. But let's go ahead and look on the Bulgarian front, and we can see that the Bulgarians or the Romanians have been pushing back. They've even captured back the major city over here and fully connected up this region, but they do still hold a small invasion over here. And over here in the eastern area, they get like it's not going good for Bulgaria, but they're gonna now focus on that area. Anyways, coming over here to Caucasia, the Russians will start invading this country, because they want to invade the mainland Ottomans, and it starts to kind of backfire on the Russians, as some areas over here on the coastline really don't want to be a part of the Russian Empire, and they first had a big push. Now the push is starting to very slowly push back. However, they are making progress in some regions, um, like over here in this major city. However, in other regions, like over here, they're not doing as well. The Ottomans are going to do something pretty interesting, and it's kind of helping the Russians. However, they will be fighting on this front. So the Ottomans have pushed into this Byzantine territory right here, and that's about Joe over for them, as their capital gets taken, and the rest of it is occupied by the Russians. So now the Ottomans and the Russians will start to fight on this front right here, and it is a very bloody front, and it is the Caucasus Mountain region. So who knows who will come out as the victor in this region. Anyways, coming over here to this Balkan front line, Slovenians have pushed back and they've captured this major city up in the south. However, over here in the north, it's just simply not going as well, as their manpower is lower, way lower in this region, as there are many people that are not willing to fight for Slovenians, specifically in this northern area right here that was once the former blue team. Anyways, another country will be joining on this war, and this time it's on the rhombus side. And that country, go ahead and make your guesses. And, well, if you don't have time to put it in the comments, because I'm just going to lay it down right now. So the country that will be joining the rhombus alliance, or the diamond alliance, is going to go ahead and be the blue team. But why do they join the rhombus alliance? Out of all the alliances they could have joined, why the rhombus? Well, they want to get this Mediterranean coast right here and also these three islands. So they will start invading into Catalonia, and they're doing pretty well. And they even reach this major city right here until they receive a large amount of troops from Catalonia, or not Catalonia, from the Sicily people, and they start invading in the southern land. However, the blue team is putting all their force and manpower into this one region, so it is going to be hard for the Slovenians to kind of do, or the Sicily people to do anything about it. Over here in Crimea, we see the Russians having a large offensive, and that almost wipes out all of the Ottoman troops in this region. However, they do remain at this Sevastopol area, at least in modern timeline, and they will hold out. It is a very brutal siege of the city from the Russians, but they are holding out. Back over here on the Bulgarian front line, Bulgaria has completely pushed back the Romanians out of this portion right here. But they do an all-out invasion from the northern regions, all of the northern regions of the country, and they recapture this major city, going down over here to the purple team. But Bulgaria is going to do something pretty smart. They are going to go ahead and focus their troops on a weak spot where the army of the lime team is, and that's right here. So they completely knock them out from these two spots. And I mean, they could just go from here, but you know. The lime team is going to go ahead and start their invasion of the purple team, or the pink team, whatever you want to call it. And they pretty much take this southern peninsula area right here. But they don't go too hard on these guys, as they're mainly focused on Bulgaria. Back over here on the Caucasus front line, we see the Ottomans having major successes in this area, but their most of their troops were now ported to that area, so the Russians will have a major success in recapturing the capital of the Cyan team for themselves, and they start pushing down the coast. However, it is brutal because once again, these are mountains. The Crimean Ottomans actually are able to get a little bit of land. They are doing pretty well in the siege, and they have fully kicked the Russians out of the city. They were pretty close to sieging it, but now it's pretty far. Well, not pretty far. I mean, they could just, do that, but it is fine for now. Over here in this area right here, we see the blue team is having major successes in the Catalonian region, and they fully take this region as the Sicily people retreat to Corsica, which leaves these islands pretty undefended, and they will of course also fall over to the blue team. And now the blue team has lands over here in Catalonia, which they have really never owned before. Coming over here to Bosnia, we see that the Slovenians have fully taken all of the purple team's coastline, which will make them very mad. But they can't do anything about it. However, once again, over here in the north, they are going to be kicking butt, kicking ass cheeks. As they take this major city surprisingly, and they just start advancing throughout this whole Bosnian area, and it seems like they're going to try to cut them off. And when the Slovenians see what's happening, they're like, oh, that's not good. So they retake this major city with the troops that were on this front line, and of course they will fall back. What is happening? Anyways, these guys fall back. Over here in the Sicily Greek area, we see Greek rebels popping up, and they fully take this southern island, and they actually take all of the Sicily claims on Greece, and they actually are going to start their invasion of Albania. The Albanians were caught off guard about this, and some of their troops were fighting on this front line over here. So they will pull those troops from here, and they will use it to counteract the Greeks and push in. due to this, we see that the purple team is losing some land up north. So is the pink team, and they fully I mean they did fully kick the civilians out of their country. However, it seems like they probably will again in the future. Oh, they are. So they have an even better time now because the Albanians aren't helping them. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for the purple team. On the Bulgarian front line, we can see that the Lime team has been pushing back in the northern region as they are using a lot of their manpower in this region. And they are like, stop. They're not using it in the pink team, and they retreated all their troops there, which obviously means that this front line won't exist. So there we go. Bye bye, front line. And the pink team is still, they're doing really good, especially in these rural regions of what, once again, was the former blue team. They are doing really well there as the citizens welcome them with open arms in this city as well. And yeah, so the pink team is doing really good in this war, and they probably, if they lose, probably won't lose too much land, to be honest. Anyways, another country is gonna join on the side of the rhombuses, and that is going to go ahead and be a country known as the Cypriots. The Cypriots have finally joined in on this war. They even invited a buddy pal of theirs down south called the Blue Team. And together, these two countries will work together as one army, which is going to be labeled as a pink army because, it's the main country doing this is, of course, Cyprus. So they will go ahead and start their invasion of the Ottomans. If I can click on the right layer, and they start their invasion of what the former provinces. There's a couple, like 7 provinces in this region that used to be owned by the Cypriots until they lost the First Great War. This is the Second Great War, and the Cypriots will push around this body of water right here, and it looks like the Ottomans will not win this war. Even the Slovenians are pushing back against the pink team over here. Not too much though. Back over here on the Greek front line, the Greeks have pushed back the Albanians out of this major city. And like I said, they will start their invasion, not of their own country. Sometimes I really hate painting on that because why would they invade their own country? Anyways, yeah, so they just start invading throughout Greece, or Albania, what used to be Greece. And yeah, so it doesn't look like the Square Alliance will be winning because they're not. As we see another country joining in on this war, that is actually going to be the brown team. They are not joining in on a specific alliance. However, they join against the Square Alliance, and they start pushing all the way down Albania, and they also start their invasion of the Sicily part of Italy, and they fully take it as that area was not guarded at all. And Sicily as a whole is they're falling. They had a great navy, and they still hold these 3 islands, but they are falling as an empire. The Slovenians finally get their stuff together and they push the purple team fully out of Slovenia. And from here, they will fully take over the purple team. They will also eventually take all of the parts of Slovenia right here. And they will continue to push back the Slovenian or the pink team right here. And they eventually fully do. However, they sign an armistice, and the pink team actually decides to go ahead and leave the war. Bye bye, pink team on the Square Alliance. And now we can see that this guy is about to get jumped by these guys, the Slovenians, and then of course, also the blue Greeks, and they will fully take over Albania. Say bye, Albania. Over here, this siege is it's happening again, and the Ottomans fully get kicked out, and they are starting to also get kicked out right here. And they even make a landing. The Russians make a landing over here in this claim of northern land. The Russians will fully take all of Caucasia, and like I said, they will move into this northern Ottoman land and meet up with their landing. And yeah, the blue team is also putting their work into this war as they just start taking a lot of land from the Ottoman Empire until the Cypriots they get really close to the capital of the Ottomans, and they strike across, taking some major cities in the process. and they look like they're gonna encircle the capital, and they do. But this capital is a very historic area, so they won't let go of it too quickly. The Russians are gonna even make a landing over here in Bulgaria, and they're gonna completely take this land right here. And since they're right next to it, they also start their invasion of the Ottomans in this region, and the Ottomans are just getting completely like desecrated. Is not going well for them. Bulgaria is going to go ahead and sign for peace, as well as the pink team, and now it's just only the Ottoman Empire who will surrender to the Russian Empire. And let's go ahead and take a look at this ginormous peace treaty. Coming over here to Ukraine, what will happen is that the Lime team gets all of this land right here, and the rest of the Ottoman claim on Ukraine will fully go to the Russian Empire, finally giving them Black Sea access and therefore access to trade other countries outside of land. And the Lime team also share a little bit on the coast, because I would say it's pretty valuable. Coming over here to the Cyan team, you see that Russia takes all of this northern land right here, which is a large chunk of land, and the rest of it will become once again the Cyan team. Or the Bulgarian peace treaty will look a little something like this. So the Lime team gets these, not that is not the right color. The Lime team will get these two major parts of land. These both have two major cities. And this land right here will actually become its own country. And the Blue Greeks will get all of that. And the Orange team will be reinstated. And they will take, all the land that did get invaded. So now they look like this, which is, really small from what they used to look like. But anyways, let's take a look at the Albanian treaty, which actually is pretty soft. So the brown team will take not all of that; they will take all of the Albanian land right here, and then the Greeks will take that portion of land. So that will do it for the Greeks and their expansion. Well, for now, and Albania will be reinstated as one. So yay, I guess. Anyways, time to look at this peace treaty right here. And that actually looks like this. So the Lime team will be taking these two provinces right here, and the rest of the Cyan team will go to, the other Cyan team. That was actually a dark purple team. I only called it Cyan because, that was its occupied lands. Anyways, this is now just a major city of Slovenia. And this country is now looking pretty lonely in Central Europe. But now it's time for the Sicily peace treaty. And you don't even have to look at the lines. So the blue team will be taking all of their occupied lands in Iberia as well as the Balearic Islands. So yeah. And then the Slovenians will also, or the Sicilians will lose their portion of land over here on Italy. So now they no longer, they barely have an empire, just three big islands. They used to have a lot more. But now let's come over to the big one, the Ottoman peace treaty. So yeah, let's take a look at this real quick. So the Ottomans will be brought back and then divided like this. So the Russians will get a north. That's not what I want them to get. And it was 1 pixel. But the Russians will get the northern area, a small northern area right here. This new pinkish country will get pretty much all of this land right here. Greece will get these islands over here. Cyprus is going to get this portion of land, and then a small province right down here will go to the blue team. So that is the Ottoman treaty, and yeah, so it's kind of not good what happened to the Ottomans. They really did not have a good time. But that is going to do it for today's video. Actually, I have to update something, which is the military rankings and the military alliances, because this looks weird now. And that now looks something like this. So we can go ahead and see that the Square Alliance has been they've been hurt a lot, and the Diamond Squad got a lot. And so the only country that left an alliance was the blue team, and they left the Diamond Alliance. But for the last event of this video, we're gonna go ahead and see a new country joins the Diamond Alliance, which will go ahead and be this pinkish country in Turkey. They join this Diamond Alliance, but that will do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This was a pretty big war, and it changed a lot for the series, the direction of it. And well, actually, I have to do the ranking because this doesn't make sense now. I mean, it does still, but it's not accurate. So the number one strongest country in the world is the gold team, but number two is gonna actually go to Russia now. So they are now the second largest or the second strongest country in the world. Number three is gonna go to the Ottomans. They're still pretty strong. Number four is the purple team. Number five is gonna go ahead and be Sweden. Number six is gonna go to the blue Iberians. Seven over to the Cypriots. Eight is gonna go to the Egyptians. 9 to the Moroccans, and 10 is going to go to the Slovenians. So that will do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So, bye.